turd. Okay, so I just found, actually, I found it the other day and I never read it until today. Actually, I never even read this one today, but I'm about to, and I wanted to read it so that y'all could hear it. I read one just now and it made me cry. But I guess I could tell you what it is. So I found a folder of some of my writing from high school. And it's so crazy to like look back and see the things the teachers said. I'm telling y'all, they probably thought I was crazy making up some fictional stuff. And the craziest part is it isn't fiction. It's true. Getting ready to do something big in life. And so finding this is kind of cool. This is called The Road to Success. All right. I don't want to go there again this weekend. And this does not even make a whole bunch of sense the way that I wrote it, but real soon. Okay. I don't want to go there again this weekend, I stressed as I was packing my pink Barbie backpack full of clothes. See, my dad always makes me and my two sisters go visit my mother every other weekend. He says it's a law, but I don't think it should be. I don't think anyone should have to go to a place and see all the things that I see there. The horn honks. I'm annoyed. I think I had to use like certain types of things in here, like whatever you call them. Get off of there, please, Bubba. The horn honks. I'm annoyed not only by the loud sound, but by the rush and disappointment in having to go to my mom's house. I walk as slow as a turtle down the stairs and out to the truck, dreading having to leave. We pull up to my mom's house and meet her for a hug outdoors. And this is so crazy because it's like that song Raylan, Love Triangle or whatever. But anyways, we're excited to see her even though she's new to our lives. As we walk in the door, the violence strikes. My stepdad is yelling about something I'm too young to understand. My mom is already heading to the fridge to grab an ice cold can of Busch beer. I'm laughing, but it's really not funny. Okay, my sister and I are already bored. All mom wants to do is watch movies or have us play outside with no supervision. When we finally find something to do outside, we start to hear the violent strike from inside. We run in the house. This is really crazy because like where I live now, it was like right on the street. But anyways, okay. When we finally find something to do outside, we start to hear the violent strike from inside. We run in the house. As we were walking in the house, all I see is my mom on the floor from our stepdad shoving her. Who knows what else was done. My older but still young sister is cussing in frustration. This is just not right. I know it can't be. My other sister states, Mom and stepdad are so drunk, they're out of control. All stepdad is focused on is yelling to the top of his voice and letting us know that Mom got the last hit. And they were not talking about hitting. They were talking about drugs. This is terrible. I do not quite understand because she never once touched him. This is crazy to read, y'all. Sisters and I then attempt to call the cops, but Mom and stepdad yanked the phone before we could get anything out. The cops still come to check it out. As that takes place, Mom and stepdad frantically calm down. As Mom and stepdad run in the other room and start acting weird, my sisters whisper to me and explain that it's over drugs and alcohol. Older sister explains something about a pipe. Me not really relating, but putting my little brain to work. Bless you. Weekends passing and more details adding up. Pieces being put together, and I even notice that I'm learning way too much for my age. The cops arriving takes longer than usual because nothing was said during the call. Our mom yelling at us to explain to them that we did a prank call while we were playing. We then got questioned and had to lie, as Mom told us to even though Grandma and Dad told us never to lie. The cops then filed the report and leave. Stepdad at this point has angry eyes and starts to hit Mom like it was her fault that we called the cops. He hits her so powerfully, it's unbelievable. As the weekend is now ending, if tomorrow ever gets here, my sisters and I trying to go to sleep, but the violence is keeping us awake and worried. We pass out, and as the next afternoon is arriving, we're finally waking up and it already being time to go home. That's because we didn't get no sleep that night. This was often. Dad pulls in the driveway, our mom and stepdad acting as if everything was fine, while Dad is putting our bags in the back of the truck and telling Mom bye. We then hurry to leave. The moment that we had got all the doors closed in the truck and headed down the road, we began explaining to Dad about our miserable, dramatic weekend. My sisters and I are blurting out things about Mom's house. Dad then explains to us that next time the issue takes place, we have to tell the cops the truth so things can change, and we won't have to be around it anymore. Next weekend, it says other paper. Next weekend arrived. It's time for Mom's house again. Same thing happened, just a different weekend. The cops came, we told them the truth. Mom went to jail, and stepdad actually ended up going to prison. By this time, come to find out he had outstanding warrants, and it was for more than that role that he had played. Mom had got released and then checked into a women's shelter along with my baby brother, which she conceived a few months after her arrest. They had then lived there in the home for about 2 years. She had got clean and sober and away from the abuse for good. She moved out of the home as soon as she felt she could get back on her feet. They helped her a lot, and her life was then straightened out for the most part, and she could handle her drinking and drug problem. She moved with my little brother to Arkansas, where her side of the family that was left lived, and then began a new and much happier lifestyle. 5 years passed. Mom still remained sober and made a better atmosphere for my baby brother and her. She also met an amazing man in her recovering drug alcohol class, and soon after they got married, which I don't recommend. I love the man. He might even be watching this, but he's on my Facebook. But you don't date another addict. You're supposed to balance each other out, because then they relapsed. Anyways, and it's in the rules for a reason. My little brother, as well as us girls, were then happy to be around each other, and we were happy to see that our little brother had a great father figure in his life. At that point, we were now old enough to make the decision if we wanted to go see Mom or not, which at this point in time, we wanted to go visit her because of all the positive changes. We were proud. Our grandmother, the one which helped raise my sisters and I, had passed away from cancer around this time. Dad then became very weak, not wanting to work or anything. We lost a bunch. Christmas of 97, he lost his business, which led to losing our house. Y'all probably already heard this, but and things went further downhill from there. My middle sister ended up dropping out of high school. My oldest sister went on her own to Arkansas, and Dad and the other sister, this is so confusing, and my other sister and I got taken in by a wonderful lady that we call Grandma Nellie. She is my dad's best friend's mother. Soon after living with her, my sister Megan met her fiance, and she now lives with him in Willis. This is crazy. By this point in time, my dad was trying to get back on his feet and make money. There is a downfall, though. The job was out of town, doing flooring. Today, we are just about to move into our own, like old times. I pretty much have been living on my own now that Dad is working constantly out of town. So I am busy with school and a job. I am a very hard worker and an independent girl with a long, bumpy road that is now behind me. No, it wasn't. And I am soon to be a graduate, and I am very proud to say I am a drug-free person, unlike my parents. If anything, my mother's addiction really helped me and made me a stronger person, and see all the negatives in drugs and alcohol and getting addicted has always been something I feared. I have an amazing man in my life named David. He is not only my first love, but he is my best friend, and that has helped me out a lot and been there for me through all of these struggles. We have almost been together now for 3 years. I've proved my family wrong that you can make something out of nothing, and I respect every life lesson that has been brought to me for this. Even though my life is not quite like other people's, I am lucky to live the life that I have so that I appreciate things more and look at life in a different way than most. I am a very strong girl and going to graduate in 2008. I refuse to give up. It's not an option. My brother now has a good role model, and I am proud of myself for that as well. This is just some of my lifelong story and the beginning of a happily ever after. Oh, sweet Jesus. And then look, life is a roller coaster. Don't you know that? Okay, and then one more, and I'm going to go. This is called The Value of the Ones That Influence My Life. I was at a point in my life where my life had gotten to its hardest. Good Lord, I did not have good writing skills. A woman named Nellie turned things around. Life was getting tough. Days were feeling long. I felt very alone. Where did they go wrong? On a late cold night, my dad put up a fight. My sister and I felt such fright. Our dad had been put into jail for things that he never paid, but it was more than that. Now I know today. He had to go to trial because it was time, and at this time our rent was due and it was late, so we had no cell phone or home phone, only cell phone, so we couldn't even talk to him. So we had no way to talk to him from jail. My dad had called his friend, whose mom, Nellie, is where the story begins. We missed him so much, knowing that that's all we had, but we couldn't let this old lady know that we were so sad. Nellie came into my life during a very rough time. I didn't know her very well, but we got to know her as the days went by. She was the sweetest old lady, and she had a house full of love. The house was very big with many empty rooms, so she insisted that my sister and I move in. My dad had went to trial and got a release date. He only had to serve 2 years, because he wrote a letter explaining we were all he had. All 3 years apart. My sisters, bless you. Me and my sister are all 3 years apart. I don't know what that has to do with anything. At this point in time, when Nellie had custody of my sister and I was only 14. During all the months that passed, Nellie was, in my eyes, my new grandmother, since ours had passed from breast cancer when we were young. I was only 8. Nellie did things for us that my real grandmother would have done. She was like blood. She did everything for us on a daily basis, like have us breakfast ready, before school, a snack made after, dinner always on the table at dinner time, and was constantly buying us random gifts. This was very appreciated. It's amazing knowing how big of a heart she had and how someone that barely knew us from the beginning just came right into our life and treated us so kind. This continued, and every day we grew closer and closer to her. Even on holidays, she wouldn't let us go without presents. She treated us as if she were our family. She continued to open up her house to us, even after Dad was released from jail. At this time, I was about to get a job. Keep in mind, I had a job since my father had been locked up. Nellie just tried not to let us pay for certain things that we needed, that every teenager shouldn't have to pay for. She wanted things to be as normal as possible. After Dad got released, he had his own room at Nellie's. Sissy, are you trying to eat your toes? Are you trying to eat your toes? Yes? He ended up with a felony on his record, so it was impossible for us to get a place. Hey, you went out of there? You always want to be on video, huh? Hold on, y'all. Okay, we're going to finish it, okay? All right. In between, it took a little over a year. Okay. In between the time my dad was getting on his feet and trying to get a place, my sister ended up moving in with her fiance. It helped a little, even though she was my other half, and I knew it would be weird living without her. You love paper. Also, during that time, I met a guy named David. He, as well, came into my life at a very difficult time, knowing my father couldn't get an apartment because of his felony. After months went by, my dad found a job out of town. Since I didn't have my sister to talk to me and hang out with me on a daily basis, I made David my best friend. This is so funny. We were best friends for a while, and then we became a couple. We got to know each other, and he even offered buying an apartment for me in his name since we were unable to. Yes. It's a new beginning, and I'm thankful for everything Nellie has done. I am also very thankful and appreciate everything that David has done. You silly girl. It's now been 2 years, and David and I have been dating, and everything is running smooth. They have both made, they being Nellie and... What? Okay, read it. You trying to put it in your mouth? Okay, hold on. Okay. So if I had to pick the people that influenced me, it would be Nellie and David for opening up their hearts and doing things for us. I'm lucky to have these two wonderful people in my life, and I've been able to travel down many roads of life with them. I've learned that needing something and someone is difficult, and people that help and are there for others in such a fast notice is a good reason for being thankful for family and friends. Tell them what's that. What's that? Who is that? Is that Grace? Is that Grace Marie? Yeah? Uh-oh. I do miss Nellie's company and all the things I'm used to her doing. I do visit her often, as much as I can. I'm glad that we still have that close relationship with her. I will respect them forever for everything they've done for me and my family. And every chance I get, I try doing things for them as well as others to help out in any way that I can. if I had to choose the two people that influenced my life, it would be them, as they've impacted, my life, and in my eyes became family, and is the best grandmother and best friend anyone could possibly ask for. Okay, that is it. All right, say bye-bye. We just wanted to share the crazy stories. My teachers probably thought I was really crazy. Not really, but it's actually interesting to read their notes. They were like, really? Did this really happen? There's like questions that I probably never answered. But anyways, all right, Grace, say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye.